Well, hello, turds. Welcome and hello and welcome and all that jazz. It's un poco mas, the show where we give you just a little bit more. Obviously, here's what I was, pondering, if you will. I was noodling with it. I was kicking it around in the old noggin, the old empty warehouse space, a la Giuliano Bologna, the five-headed bologna sandwich. But no, guys, everyone's saying finally a green day. Oh, what a day. We're up 6, we're up 7. Guys, the stock is not up. I've been saying this for years now about this stock. Only been making videos a little over a year, but ever since this thing fell all the way down to 6, pre-ER, they manipulate the starting line. So when nobody's paying attention, they push the stock wherever they want it. So if a stock is worth $12 and it comes into an ER at 740 and it briefly goes up to 780 or 790, and then for no particular reason, falls through the floor in the, overnight hours to 585, and then it recovers back to 750. I mean, what just happened? I guess, did I, check your pants, your wallet might be gone. Maybe you just feel like you just got run over by a truck, because really nothing happened. Just a bunch of institutions sold shares to each other, made a bunch of money killing options last week. So there's all these things happening behind the scenes, but the share price is just right back where it was, a few weeks ago. And so people are asking, what's going to happen next? Is this finally going to be the move? In my opinion, yes. I mean, I talked about it last night when nobody was watching. Basically, Noto's demeanor completely changed. So many things are unique right now because a lot of us thought, a lot of us who don't know anything, pot, meat, kettle. A lot of us thought that with GAAP net profit, the stock was just going to shoot up, but nobody cares about 2 cents. I mean, look at the kind of volatility, the kind of stuff Robinhood's turning in. Everybody says, I want stability in my stocks. I don't like drama. Everybody says that about their, love life too. They're like, I don't like drama. I don't need any drama. I'm too old for the drama. There's no drama for me. I just want straightforward, blah, blah, blah. And so the fact is, people do want drama. The fact is, returners do want to trade in and out of stock like hamsters on crack. They do want to buy and sell stocks every couple of weeks. They do want to wash. They do want to take massive losses every single year. They want to get about 3 bad divorces under their belt. Maybe a nice drug problem. Couple stints in rehab. Estrangement with the kids. You know how it goes, guys, when you start chasing these stocks. Anyway, welcome and hello and welcome. I see the familiar youthful face of Alberto Bertie Avilés. That's his yearbook photo from 1964. No, it was just so funny because you construct these things in your head. You see, all you have is an avatar photo like the size of a dime on this little cheap monitor that, it serves as my U-turd monitor. Over to the side, I think it was like a touchscreen monitor I bought for like $60 on eBay. So it's super fuzzy. And then I see people and it just has absolutely no bearing on reality. And I construct this entire life behind those little pictures. So you guys were like Sims, you have all these little lives kind of going on in my head. You're out doing other things. And then when reality comes crashing in, I find out you're nothing like your Sim. You have your own life. And it's not really Sim City. But anyway, guys, there's so many reasons this thing is poised to take off, not the least of which is the technicals. This line has been tested, this upper bound line. You see, we're kind of had two trend lines I was working with. This was resistance, kind of flipped to support here very recently. But if you look at this upper line, you've seen 7 tests. 1, 2, 3, 4, and these are a little bit below, but humor me. 4, 5, 6, and 7. On this triple top, these were all, basically a month apart. This was the KBW massacre here, the New Year's massacre. That was just not timed, not coordinated, not illegal, not unethical. They just came out with that call on New Year's Day. And the stock sold off from 10 down to 8, basically overnight for absolutely no reason. Anyway, that's what happens. That's the kind of power you wield when you are a bald, smirking douche working for KBW. But he has since moved on. And the great virgin analyst, Timothy Switzer, Timmy, is here. And we are on reiteration watch to see if the great Timmy Switzer is going to reiterate his call on SoFi stock for a fourth time in the last couple of weeks. Haven't heard from him yet. Again, somebody do a welfare check. If he doesn't reiterate his bearish call again soon, we should call his grandmother and see if he's doing okay. But anyway, guys, yeah, look, he's like one lip ring from being a member of My Chemical Romance. Anyway, guys, that's neither here nor there. Sorry, I'm rambling today. Just a long weekend, doing a lot of work, doing a lot of stuff with Princess J, and then as always, she's working very, very hard. So these weekends just kind of run together. It's all either sort of work here, work there, do one thing, do another. But, I like to be busy. I wouldn't have it any other way. And like I said, there's plenty of time to rest when I'm dead. So this chart looks extremely good. You see, this triple top took, 3 months to develop. This last one is taken 1 month. And it's consolidated above this line. All these other tests, it just fell like a stone down below this line. Right here. Look at it fall. Look at it fall below. Look at it fall below. Look at it fall below. And then this becomes resistance again for, 1, 2, 3, 4 tests. And then it finally breaks through. When it falls here, this is this after hours nonsense. It never really came back down. And then no other time did you see this see how these candles all reach the same top, about 6 candles, and then it starts to go up very convincingly past the 50-day average, like a hot knife through butter. 2 more candles past the 150-day moving average, which are my 2 preferred averages. I just like how they interplay with each other. It's going to break through this line. Guys, when you look at this chart, don't get confused. It's not this level. People don't even understand what they're looking at, I feel like, half the time. You don't need to break. People think you need to break down, okay, here, which is, that 1167 where I sold, was fortunate enough, just lucky enough to sell 10,000 shares of SoFi stock right there at the very top. But again, it's, the sun shines on a dog's ass once, I don't know how it goes. But so how resistance works is it doesn't break through here. It breaks through this line here. That's where these algorithms are trading. So once it breaks through this line, which I think it's going to this week, I don't think maximum pain means that much this week because the puts are so few and so weak and so gutless. I just don't think they mean anything. I don't think you have to pay that much attention to the, bearish options this week. Because there's too much volume in the stock. Saw 50 million shares come back into the stocks. Things been trading 18 million, 22 million. So once it breaks through here, it's off to the races. And you ask, what's next? Where's resistance? I mean, I would argue there's really not much resistance until 1404 area. I mean, I think the resistance kind of kicks back to this prior period where the stock was trading at a higher plane. I mean, of course there's going to be resistance at 10. I mean, of course there's going to be resistance at 909, some of these places where the stock's gotten hung up in the past. 1013. But realistically, guys, this has been very, very artificial. They have gone so far out of their way, some of these analysts. I mean, Morgan Stanley, well, they're downgrading the stock from, whatever it was, 7 to 6 or 6 to, they're adding shares, guys. They're adding shares. And that's the main reason why it's going to be different. It's not the institutional ownership going up. It's who the institutions are. Okay, you're not just seeing a bunch of penny garbage come into the stock. I mean, to that end, I think StockGoat and many others, I know Noto was posting about it on Twitter. They filed their latest filing 90 million shares. an increase of 7 million, or almost 9% increase on their shares of SoFi. So this is effective of end of June. I mean, guys, think about it. Think about how conservative a company like Vanguard is. Mutual funds, retirement, insurance, the whole thing. Why do they have such a huge stake in SoFi? Because Anthony Noto is a known commodity with decades of proven track record on Wall Street. They don't want some pie-eyed douchebag with crazy hair, in a dream, living in his grandma's basement, who's, been with the company and come up forever and it's his baby. They want a cold-blooded assassin who knows the numbers like the back of his hand and is willing to kill people to get where he needs to get and get to be a top 10 financial institution. That's it. Look at some of these other institutions, guys, in this stock. Look at the red numbers. The only red number you see is like ARK as far as these mega bulls. And Cathie Wood is, I don't know, guys. I don't know who thinks this woman is a genius. Yeah, she has a nice, intelligent look, scrubbed, like no makeup, the weird glasses, the whole thing. I mean, I get it. It's an interesting story. She's it's not really science, math, and engineering. It's not really STEM, but she's a woman in finance. It's exciting, right? But it's not, because she's a horrible, horrible stock picker in terms of timing. She might have gotten a few of these things right in terms of these companies are innovating and these companies are disruptive and stuff. But what happens is the company that disrupts, that has the concept, usually gets scooped by a company that's better at business. It's like Bobby Bottle Service. I'm good at business. Oh, I get most of my stock picks from Bobby Bottle Service. The Kroll Show, highly underrated comedy. Anyway, guys, welcome and hello and welcome. I'm sure you've all watched Armand of the House a time or two. Just horrible, horrible stuff. But guys, welcome and hello. So look at these bulls, like Vanguard, 90 million, 7 million more. BlackRock, last filing, 46 million, 45 million. 3.5 million more. Silver Lake, no change so far. I don't think their filing has come yet. State Street, again, modest increase, 1.2 million. Geode, 1.4 million. ARK sold 52,000 net, but again, I don't put any stock in what she does. It's just, I don't know. Morgan Fudley, again, they're downgrading the stock while they're increasing their stake by 1.1 million shares to 14.45 million. We saw Norges Bank more than double, I believe, double their stake to 14 million. Dimension Fund added 9.5 million shares to their already 4.5 million roughly. Nico Asset Management. So Jane Street, I know they were short long. I think now they're mostly long, but they had, it's a modest decrease. Susquehanna, again, short long, pure short. Guys, it's a sea of green from Charles Schwab, Northern Trust, everybody, all these bears, Citigroup, they're all adding. You see like 3 green numbers out of the top, 25 whales here. You need a flashing sign. You need a writing on the wall. Everybody who knows this company and has been in this company and is upside down in the company, has put money into the company, they're all buying. And they're buying into a short, and they're buying into a perfect storm of fundamentals and macro that are going to be incredibly good for SoFi. And if the bologna sandwich wants to come on Un Poco Mas, maybe he'll let me use his giant 5 head as a supplementary screen so I can get more comments up here, get a little more interactive. But Giuliano, if you let me use your forehead as a supplementary screen for my comments, I'll have you on Un Poco Mas gladly. And maybe you can explain how fair value accounting is going to hurt SoFi's numbers in the short term or in the medium term when the loan originations absolutely explode. When we see a rate cut. Because they're going to recognize gains right away, right? So that's going to pump their profits through the roof. Even temporarily. And that's what the market wants, right? I keep saying right like a goddamn Canadian. I got to talk to my parents. Maybe I was adopted, eh? I did used to like Molson. Anyway, guys, welcome and hello and welcome. Let me get a quick sip of tap water. We have 92 brave souls on board the aircraft, guys. There's going to be an emergency exit. Ha and ha. If you find yourself unable to operate the emergency exit, go ahead and talk to your flight attendant. She'll just give you a new seat assigned. Okay. Bye-bye. Whenever I see like flight attendants runs that old David Spade bit. So dumb, guys. But look at what's happening. Okay, institutions are buying. The dumb, slow-witted shorts aren't letting go. You see Susquehanna, you see Jane Street, you see kind of these major whales that were shorting the stock getting out of the way. And you see, I don't know what they're hoping for. They're hoping for no rate cuts, and that's going to hurt SoFi. I think Noto already has the technology growth in the bank. I think that's where the EPS growth is coming from. I think they're going to announce a major tech customer and bring them onto the books. Otherwise, I just don't see how you get there with lending. Q3, lending is not exploding. Yes, home loans look very, very good. But student loans, I don't think are exploding yet. I don't see how that gets you an extra, $40 or $50 million in gap net profit, which I think is what we're going to get because I think Noto is selling this hard. Noto is sending a message to his whale friends on Wall Street. He's like Aquaman. Anthony Noto is Aquaman. Off Broadway. Mental telepathy with the whales. He's saying, come in and feed. Come in on feed. We have a rotting carcass here for your delight. Maybe you like kelp. Eat some kelp. Eat some kale. I don't give a fuck. Eat some seaweed. Whatever you whales dine on. Eat a tourist. I don't know. Eat a diver. Whatever. No, don't. That's not funny. But anyway, guys, who was the guy who got eaten by the whale in the Bible? Noah. Not Noah. Noah had the ark. What was that guy? God, I can't remember. Sorry, I'm blaspheming all over the place. Anyway, Jonah. I believe it was Jonah. But so yeah, I think it was Jonah. My friend Jonah used to talk about that all the time while he was drinking big schooners of beer. Anyway, guys, welcome and hello and welcome. Of course, I'm all over the place. It is un poco mas. No, I'm not all over the place. That's my brother. I'm Danny Deals, Danny Vegas, Danny Dimes, Stock Karen, Hurricane Lopez, and many, many other people. I'm whoever you want me to be as you search for some type of meaning and affirmation on YouTube that, of course, it is never, ever going to provide in your life. You're always going to be searching. You're always going to be a complete loser, looking at that cell phone for affirmations, doing your little circuit between like your Instagram that nobody cares about, then maybe your Facebook. Oh, any comments over here? No. Oh, my mother-in-law. Like, and you just go around your socials looking for something that's not there because it's just not down inside yourself. And that's what you guys experience every day when you just dig down deep into your very heart and soul and there's just nothing there. There's nobody home because you're a bunch of weak, paper-handed, piker, broke douchebags. And that's why you need, the white knights to come in and rescue the stock. And a lot of you guys are saying, oh, Danny Deals. Maybe you have money, but not all of us can average down. I bought all my shares. I blew my whole load at 13. Well, you need to learn what you're doing. Again, I went back to this in another video. Building a position, cash management. Okay, growth stocks always crash pre-profit. They always have problems. SoFi is one of these only growth stocks. Yes, they had the big write-down in terms of Technesis last year in Q3. But in terms of like fundamentals, X's and O's, they've never had that disaster quarter. Never even close. And I look at a stock like Robinhood. Yeah, they took a lot to the bottom line. Incredible margins. But in terms of the annuals, it's all over the place. And it's very crypto dependent. Their whole business, I believe, can be legislated away. But Robinhood's killing it right now. There's just got an upgrade from Deutsche Bank. And I'll just make this point. Like, listen, Deutsche Bank. No, nothing against old touchdown Brian Bedell. This guy looks like that fucking guy off MASH. Who is not Radar? That other guy. I can't remember his name. I haven't seen MASH in about 50 years, but I'm telling you, it's not Klinger. Not a stage 5 Klinger, but I'm telling you, it looks like some dude off MASH, one of the sergeants, that dude with the little glasses. I think he was also in Deliverance, maybe. Anyway, Brian Bedell, this asshole is somebody who knows how to rate a stock. Like, he just raised his price target on Robinhood from 20 to 24, and he raised it to a buy rating with 18% upside. Now, the analyst covering SoFi for Deutsche Bank, Deutsche Nemes, whatever the fuck that is, you know, this bullum-headed haircut, this caveman, this unfrozen caveman lawyer analyst, you know, the guy for SoFi, I just find this so frustrating because you wish you could understand the thought process, but where was Deutsche Bank? Yeah, Mark DeVries, who is a really smart guy, read his notes and stuff, but, you know, he's a hold at 11 with, you know, 47% upside. And when he rated the stock a hold, it was much lower. So it was like 60 or 70% upside with a hold. So his colleague, you know, over at Robinhood, he has 18% upside. He shifts to a buy. This guy has almost 50% upside. He's just a hold. Just hold on. Just pump the brakes. Oh, need a runaway truck ramp for this motherfucker. Stock's out of control. If I'm not careful, it might get up over 8, but I think it's worth 11. You got to hold it. You know, maybe it's worth 13. I give it a sell. Keep him guessing. Misdirection. Eliminate the motive. Double bluff. Dude, this isn't a Dabney Coleman movie. Some fucking kid running around with an invisible detective. This is real life, motherfucker. People are putting their money into this thing, and you're over here smirking away. Look like you've never seen the sun in your entire life. Your skin is ranging from pale to blue. Your fucking skin shade is toner. You can see all your capillaries right through your head. No, I'm serious. This guy, I just, you know, like to make fun of these guys because they're all successful and good looking, whereas I'm not. So that's why I go ahead and Karen. But anyway, guys, so I'm looking at the chart. I'm looking at the fundamentals. I'm looking at the timing. I'm looking at the institutions buying. I'm looking at the Fed coming in with sort of that medium soft landing into some, you know, slow, steady rate cuts. I don't think the Fed's going to go crazy. I don't think we're going to see a half point, quite frankly. I think we're going to see a quarter point. I think a half point. I think they should do a half point because I think the economy is slowing down more than people think right now toward the margins, toward the bottom, sort of middle bottom end, which is where obviously inflation really hits people. But the problem is, you know, rich people and, you know, people just spend and spend, and it affects everyone disproportionately. So those people being nailed by energy and food prices, they're not the same people sort of pushing the dollars into the system, pushing the inflation, and a huge amount of the inflation, guys, is just corporate profits, which is great if you're a shareholder, but it sucks if you're poor. Because you're seeing like, okay, half of it is actual inflation and half of it is just sort of more or less price gouging and opportunism. But, you know, I'm saying that's private enterprise. That's business. I'm not saying that's an evil thing. I mean, capitalism runs on profit motive. Capitalism runs on the concept, you know, perpetuated by Gordon Gekko that greed is good. That greed drives the system. I mean, you can call it greed, you can call it self-interest, you call it self-motivation, call it competition, whatever you want to call it, but you're out there to win. You're playing to win. Anthony Noto and SoFi earn the right to win, much like his protege in the second remake, Shia LaBeouf, who was also excellent. He raced those, you know, motorcycles against that one dude from Josh Brolin. I don't know. I can't decide if Josh Brolin is a great actor or it's just nepotism and he's just like good looking, so people assume he's a great actor. He's kind of, yeah, I don't think he's a great actor. I think Shia LaBeouf is actually a much better actor than that guy, but he's just not like super tall and handsome, so he just doesn't get the roles. He's like this kind of whiny little guy, and you know, he has all these problems. He drives an old pickup truck. He gets into fights with people at weddings or whatever. But I like Shia LaBeouf. Probably my second favorite actor to Ben Affleck, who's also brilliant. Anyway, guys, welcome, hello and welcome. I have absolutely no idea what I'm talking about, even less so than usual. But I was looking at Affirm just by way of comparison, because the demand for the loans SoFi gives to people who are financially responsible, who have financial wherewithal, who basically mean something, who have a couple of dollars to rub together. These are the type of loans that are going to thrive into rate cuts because the economy is going to be slowing down more. They're going to be cutting rates. I feel like the Affirm partners are talking about checkouts, are talking about point of sale. They're talking about different consumer goods. I think Affirm even does some B2B stuff, but I think these guys are going to get absolutely crushed, when these things start to default. They're not hedging so I don't even know how much of this stuff they own. I don't really know anything about Affirm. I just like to talk about it. But no, I don't own the stock. I'm not short the stock. It's not anything. I bought a put on Upstart. I'm absolutely getting killed. Went up again. I mean, it's very small, but it's just, I think that stock's going to go bad. I gave myself a lot of time, went a year out. So no big deal on that. I do not mind paper losses. That's kind of the nature of options. You have to wait for the swings. And when it swings your way, you have to take your profit immediately. Get out, roll on the river, and move along. But if you look at just by way of comparison, Affirm 9.3 billion market cap. They're selling less than SoFi. The earnings are sort of following, the top line's following a very similar trajectory. They're quarters away from being profitable, though they are sort of moving in the right direction. Annually, it's moving in the wrong direction. But it's just very hard to tell. I know they don't have debt, I think, but it's very hard to tell why this thing is worth more than SoFi in terms of market cap, which is less than 8 billion. When SoFi, like I said, SoFi is already profitable. Okay, it's only $17 million, and this was, right up. This is not real profit, but 3 quarters in a row of profit, selling more. Annually looks like a stairway to heaven. We're here, one ladder to heaven. Anyway, guys, welcome and hello and welcome. This show is terrible. What do you think the SoFi stock's going to do, guys? Do you think they're going to reshort? I mean, do you think they're just going to go crazy and reshort into Vanguard? 90 million shares? I mean, guys, these companies, Vanguard, BlackRock, they don't have deep pockets. They have unlimited pockets. Their pockets go on forever. If you fall into their pockets, you wake up in China. That's how deep their pockets are. So I just don't see shorting into this. These guys know what's coming. These guys are talking to people at SoFi. They're going to these analyst days, these meetings. They're telling them what's going to happen. You think Noto and team are going to lose all credibility by going to these Vanguards and BlackRocks and saying, this is where we are. This is what our predictions are based upon, and we're being extremely conservative. LaPointe laid that out. He's like, this is counting nothing in our pipeline. This is assuming tech does nothing to get to 55 to 80 cents. He's telling you, we're going to surpass that by miles because we have a lot going on that we can't tell you about yet that aren't in these numbers. He's saying that. Did you guys not hear? Is nobody listening? These other companies, Affirm, Upstart, Robinhood, I mean, yeah, they can drop a credit card, but they can't really expand into businesses the way that SoFi can, owning Galileo with Technesis. Okay, owning a bank charter that nobody else is going to get. And you say, well, I'd rather have crypto than a bank charter. Completely disagree. Different investing philosophies. Crypto can go away, guys. It can be curtailed. It can be legislated. All kinds of, a lot of these, why do you think all these guys who run these crypto businesses end up in jail or put out of business or hauled in front of Congress? Nobody knows where these businesses are going to land yet. And Robinhood payment for order flow, why are they paying for your order flow? Why do they want to know everything about you? So they can take your fucking money. That's why. I don't know when people are going to figure this out. Why are you going to pay somebody 5% on a credit card? How do you make money that way? I look at some of these businesses. I look at SoFi. I'm like, okay, these guys have great margins. Robinhood has great margins the last couple of quarters. Is it sustainable? I don't know. Management says yes. Street's giving them the benefit of the doubt. And if they keep putting up the numbers, then they're right. Then I was wrong about this company. But I just think the foundation is built not on bricks, not even on sticks, but on sand. I think crypto is quicksand in terms of long-term investing. Now, if you're just looking for a year, for a pop, for a few quarters, it's great. Because while it's going gangbusters, they're making tons of money. They're putting that money back into the exchange. I saw they had, I think it was 144 billion in assets under management, AUM. I mean, that's extreme growth. That's far more than anybody thought they would. I think they had 20 million paid accounts. So, I mean, I got to hand it to Robinhood. I think the valuation is actually quite fair. I mean, I think they might actually be worth more than that. So I'm not going to hate on Robinhood. I know I usually do. I'll hate on Upstart. I'll hate on Affirm. I'll hate on many other companies, but Robinhood's doing pretty well right now. So, you got to give credit where credit is due, as much as I hate to do it. It's like Fletch said, it takes a big man to admit when he's wrong. I'm not a big man. But anyway, guys, welcome and hello and welcome. Sorry I didn't really read any of your comments, but most of the time they are inane, foolish blather that is simply a waste of my time and effort, and I'm running low on tap water already. So I'm going to go ahead and do what old Snoop Dogg said and start at the finish line. Go ahead and do a few comments from the back to the front. We got Air Force in the house. Try to keep payment policy technology support providers SoFi offers buy now, pay later, controversial AR customer engagement. Zero proof stocks 100% manipulated. Yeah, I mean, it's definitely manipulated to maximize profits for market makers, but every stock is, they want maximized profit for market makers. SoFi is one of those ones they really got their hooks into and have sort of been going after. But just take a look at the live short interest. I know you guys like to see that. It's not really live, of course, but the shorts haven't given up at all. It was basically flat yesterday, flat today. Cost to borrow average was 1. It was actually negative on the min, so they are still paying people to short SoFi. Max was only 1.21. That was 8 yesterday. So there's just absolute ton of shares available on the open market, guys. Volume kicked up again today to, I believe it was 50 million. So highest it was last week was 36 million. 50 million is absolutely perfect bullish volume for SoFi. Yeah, 51 million shares traded. And guys, every single day at the end of the day, you see this massive spike in volume, green candles. They're trying to accumulate off those lows. And you're seeing it show up in the institutional ownership. It's definitely institutions accumulating. I mean, if you wouldn't have had the constant dilution from not only employee compensation, stock-based compensation, but also these senior secured notes, you'd already have institutional ownership right around 50%. But it's the constant drip of dilution. So that has to outpace institutional owners buying. But that Vanguard purchase, I don't think is in these statistics yet. So, their 8 million more shares should kick this back up to 490, closer, 46, 47%. So this just keeps going up. I think we're going to pass 50% institutional ownership sometime very, very soon. Put call ratio is not as bad as it was, sort of a few months back, but certainly the bears are not giving up. The bears are not leaving the battlefield. The bears are, in fact, not ceding ground. Some of these guys are very stubborn. They're very brash, but remember, they're shorting with other people's money. These are not, all these guys online who are saying, "Oh, I'm short SoFi." Read the statistics. Most retarders are not shorting anything. Most of these guys don't even have margin accounts. Most of these guys don't even do options. They're just commenters. They're just talkers. Click on their names on YouTube. They have probably 1 million YouTube accounts, brand new accounts. They're just a bunch of broke idiots whose time has absolutely no value. You might say the same about me. Hey, you're a broke retarder. Okay. All right, that's a little close to home. Okay, truce. I come in peace. Compas. ¿Quieres morir? He's like the pistola. It's a great scene in Sicario at the border. Attempted kidnapping. What are the rules of engagement here? It's like, we do what they do. We get out if they get out. Savage of Wall Street. What's up, Savage? How you doing? Check out Mag 7 2026 open interest. Check out which 2026. I will. Yeah, I haven't actually looked at the options out in 2026 for a little bit. I've been buying shares, Air Force. I was buying leaps, a lot of leaps, and then recently. I just, when it dipped down really low, first down 714, I bought 707. Then I think it was low six. I can't remember exactly where, but low sixes, I just, kind of went nuts. I'm like, okay, I don't think it belongs down here again. Let's blast. So we did a few thousand shares there. Tri-State Garage Door Service. What's going on, everybody? Leo Longevity's here. So many people here. I wish I had time to say hello to everybody. Rumi, Katie Wentworth, Payush, the big P is here. John Candy is here for you, buddy. Savage is $9 January contract sold today, 51 cents, 5K to buy some groceries and pay off some credit cards. There you go, man. Take the profits. Always take profits, guys. You'll never be sorry. You always think you're going to be sorry taking profits, but you never are. You never are. Those options always go down, become worthless over time, become worth less. Not necessarily worthless, but worth less. When they get a pop or you get some profits, take the profits. Whatever it is, roll them into something else, roll them into the same stock, roll them into more options. But that's a great pay off some debt, pay some bills. Don't treat your stocks like family. Don't treat your stocks like children. Stocks are there to make you money and be used so you can enjoy your life. You can have a better life. Your family can have a better life. It's not there to brag about on the internet. I want to do stuff with this money someday. It's not all about just accumulating shares. I'm accumulating these shares because I think they're dramatically undervalued. That's why I'm accumulating them. Not so I can try to brag about how many I have. But yeah, I just didn't want to buy any more options, no leaps. I just want to own straight shares and then, sell calls on those shares and see where things go from there. But just wasn't selling covered calls. Just too much volatility for me right now. I expected a big move up, so it's just not the time I like to sell calls. We'll just see where things stabilize here. If things kind of stabilize, 793 below $8, we'll start selling calls again for a few weeks and just see how it goes. But I know some of you madmen are selling calls constantly, making money constantly, and absolutely good for you. Couldn't be happier for you guys. Max Payne is still saying $7 on a cash base, actually a lot closer to $7.50. But there it is. I like maximum-pain.com. You can see all the visual representations of the options for all the expiration dates. You can get kind of a good, if your mind doesn't really work with like the spreadsheets and stuff, all those numbers kind of make you glaze over like they do for me. These charts make it a lot more simple, showing you the open interest, showing you the volume, then showing you the maximum pain graphed out several different ways. In terms of the options chain, in terms of the cash sort of that will be left on the table, depending on where the stock finishes, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. I'm sure you guys know all about what Max Payne is. Stockman Mark is here. Good to see you, Stockman Mark. Oh, guys, I wish I had time to say hello to everybody, but I just don't today. But I hope everybody's doing extremely well. It's my good friend, Billy Jack, who wants a Florida condo. They have a lot of them, Billy Jack, have just been reduced by 40%. Have a lot of friends out in Florida. I could definitely hook you up with some people who could set you up with some really good deals out on the ocean of Florida. I know people everywhere, guys. People who know people. I have people. I know people. And if I don't, I will meet people and find people. What's up? It's Burnt Games. Do you think this market bubble will begin deflating with the rate cut? VTI seems bubblicious. No, I just don't think so. I mean, there's one thing that can overcome certain amount of macro, and that's EPS. So I think if SoFi's EPS goes from 1 cent to 5 or 6 cents quarter on quarter, I don't think the indexes are going to drag it down. I don't think the macro is going to drag it down, because the macro could be fairly bad for the overall market and still be extremely good for SoFi. SoFi is the ultimate rate cut play. So no, an emphatic no, full stop, no. Burnt Games. Stockman Mark, Grit and Grunt, Savage again, Florida condo. You're giving the shit away. Yeah, exactly. You might have read some of the same articles I did, Savage. You just pay the insurance. And what's going on is there's a law there, basically, when that condo building collapsed and killed all those people. And if you guys remember, maybe a couple of years ago, they made these new laws. So they have to do all this retrofitting, similar out in LA, how they have to do all the earthquake retrofitting to any commercial residential building. they're doing that with all these condos. So the homeowners are getting stuck with these massive maintenance and upgrade assessments that they can't afford. And then some of them are having to like cut. I saw a condo that was like 1.2 million. They did a price cut to 700,000. They still couldn't sell it. And the guy had bought it for like 1.5 million, I think just a couple years ago. So I couldn't even sell it for half of what he paid. It's absolutely nuts. Okay. Hey, thanks, Burt Games. I appreciate it. Yeah, the trend is your friend and you can't fight the market. That's very true. So if it just turns into like carnage, SoFi is not going to be able to overcome carnage. But if it's just some mild pressure down and some pullback, I think SoFi could definitely overcome that if their, growth in EPS is what I think it's going to be. Now, if it's just mediocre again, it's maybe 3 cents and everything's being dragged down, we're being dragged into a recession, look out below, we're going to be in big trouble. It's just a question of what we deliver, how we respond to the macro, how we respond to the demand. What are our borrowers looking like? How much demand is there at the very top end? All these things are very, very important. Thank you, Noto Lurker. What's up, Steve in the mountains? What's up, Jay Gadsby? How you doing today? Good to see you. Payush. Yeah, Noto knows he's going to hit it. It's just a question of when. SoFi carnage. Yeah, there's carnage everywhere, Mr. Savage. Let's see. Steve. What's going on, everybody? Guys, I really got to get out of here. There's really not much left to say, but hope everybody has a great night. Yeah, it's good to see some green, but it's not really green. They manipulate the starting line down to where, like, okay, and then Morgan Fudley, while they're buying shares, tells you it's a $6 stock, and they're like, oh, yippee, it went to $7.50. It was just at $7.50 coming into earnings 3 weeks ago. It didn't go anywhere. It's a fugazi. It's not green. It's not up. Plus, Affirm was up 7%, and Upstart was up 10%. We didn't go anywhere, guys. This is a joke. The SPAC was $10 3 years ago. Got incredible execution for over 3 years worth of quarters, and all we're doing is getting, Mr. Market's taking a dump on our chest, and maybe you're into that sort of thing, but I'm not. I'm not, guys. Anyway, that's neither here nor there. Your peccadillos and predilections are your own. But guys, I really do appreciate you joining me. Let's take a look at what's going on in the aftermarket. It's exactly flat. The algo was actually working really hard. But any large orders today, guys, anything, and this has been true for a while, it's all green. As this is trading directly sideways, any decent sized candles, you see these 6 candles where there's 0 volume, these might be very slightly red. Any decent size orders, they're all green. Up until the last few minutes, you're not seeing any big red candles all day. You're seeing at least 10 or more big green candles and, 10 more medium green candles. This is accumulation, guys. The institutions don't want to pay 10. They don't want to pay more than you paid. They wanted to pay 6 or less. But just, too many of their buddies were stepping in willing to pay those prices. So we have to see where it goes, guys. I think this thing's going to go up over 10 in short order. I don't think there's any real resistance till 14, which I think is what approximately this stock is worth. It's un poco mas, guys. It's standard deals. I hope everybody has an absolutely great night. I appreciate J Money Noto Lurker moderating the show. I appreciate Alberto Berti Avilés for moderating with the fairness and intensity that only he can bring to the table. Guys, I don't know what else to say. Everybody have a good one, and let's see if we can get some continuation going, get into a real rally that's kind of not just getting back to a starting line like a fucking boomerang and then shooting ourselves in the foot in some kind of an ill-timed Mexican standoff. In any case, guys, yeah, I don't think he's a Hell's Angel, but I don't know. I know some Hell's Angels. I have known some Hell's Angels. Different guys, smart guys. There's a lot of nuance to people, guys, and a great example of not necessarily judging a book by its cover, but then other bikers I met exactly by their cover. They're violent psychos on meth. So, on that note, guys, peace. Have a good one. I'm out.